Hi, I'm Alyssa Ashwood, and if you haven't heard the story of how I started Strategy 42, I'd like to share it with you because you might be able to learn from the lessons that I had to learn. So it was 3 years ago, and I was a McKinsey consultant, and I was traveling, and I was working more than 60 hours a week, and my husband was in a full-time job and doing a full-time PhD at Carnegie Mellon, and we have 2 kids. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And if you are what I call a relentless professional and you are doing something equally crazy, you know how hard that is. And it was harder than we even imagined. You just kind of are getting through it week by week. But we weren't really doing as good of a job as we thought. And it was Christmas time, and our kids made pictures for us for Christmas presents. And Daddy's picture has Daddy swimming and playing video games with the kids. And Mommy's picture has a laptop and a BlackBerry and nothing else. And it pretty much broke my heart. And I asked the kids, why is this my picture? And they said, because that's what you love. And of course, that wasn't all that I loved. But I love my work, right? It's very important to me. But I had things so far out of balance that this was a wake-up call. And then I had a second wake-up call. My stepmother, who I loved and who was the most vivacious and healthy person that I knew in life, died very suddenly of cancer in her 60s. And as I was sitting there in her hospital room on the day that she died, one of the things that I realized is that I had been living my life kind of puritanically, like if I did the work first, then I would have time for the life part after. And clearly the problem with that strategy is that sometimes you don't get the life part after. It doesn't make sense to put everything off because sometimes you just don't get more time. I left consulting eventually, and when I left, I started Strategy 42. And I did it because I realized that I probably wasn't the only one screwing this up. I was able to do great strategy work with my clients, but I wasn't applying strategy to myself. I was suffering in silence, and so are many, many people who live this lifestyle. But we know that there's a better way to do these things. After I started private practice, I started investing more in the things that were really, really important to me. And the following Mother's Day, I had a card from my kindergartner. It was a fill-in-the-blank Mother's Day card, and it said, "My mother is perfect. She plays with me. Sometimes she works." And I can tell you that as somebody who has lost parents and sees their children growing up, there is nothing like doing what matters most to you. Because when you have done what matters most to you, no matter what happens, you've done it. You have done it. And that is like the best insurance policy in the world for controlling the uncontrollable. I want you to have that kind of strategy in your life. Let this be your call to action with no horrible thing happening in your life. Take the advice now to have your own strategy that covers the things that are important to you both professionally and personally. And we're here to help you have it. So we want you to have your own strategy. You can click below to request your own iCountability kit to be able to develop your own strategy. And we've developed the suite of support services that we think are ideal for professionals who are trying to have it all.